Hello gentlemen, welcome to Tiresome Monologue. This is a video series where I'm going to make another opinionated monologue about a particular topic. And today's timely, titillating topic of conversation is going to be artillery. Artillery in World of Tanks, because I have a lot of fucking material, I can tell you that much. So yeah, I'm gonna just make some points. Hopefully they'll be very, very valid, as I'm sure is what you're expecting. And we'll make a few points on my opinions of Arty. We'll talk about how Arty could be made better. Check it out. And we'll also talk about why Arty is imbalanced in the first place. So, let's go. Now, I am a fairly good player. I would like to think of myself as fairly decent at this game, so that should reinforce the point that I'm trying to make here. Apart from my hand shake like a fucking midget in a wind tunnel, but there has not been one game, not one game, that I have enjoyed more in World of Tanks because of the presence of Arty. Not one! I've played 20,000 of them. I mean, you would think that's a decent... Like, if you were to take a survey of an area, that would give you a good indication. Other than the games that I played in Arty where I just 2060 no-scope people, because that's fucking hilarious, there have been no games, not one game that I've enjoyed more because of Arty. And that should speak to how unbalanced and ridiculous Arty is a mechanic. Now, I'd like to add as well, I'm in Fortnite Quickie Baby. By the way, I'm not bashing anyone here, I'm just going to use this as a point. Quickie Baby, less is Unicommand, said, stated, or implied that this game needs Arty. Arty is a necessary evil. No. I'm sorry, this game needs Arty like I needed statically charged cactus land up my ass. Now, I don't need that. Okay, gentlemen, let's make some points here. Points are good, they back up the argument. So, at what age of insanity did it become a good, reasonable, or even a curable idea to give Arty normal matchmaking? I don't know if you remember back in the day, but back in the day when it was slightly less imbalanced than it is now, Arty had the same matchmaking as Light Tanks. They get into higher tier matches all the time, and it was, I'm gonna not use the word good, it was better. It was better than it is now. I mean, you would never see top tier Arty. I mean, once in a blue moon. And you certainly wouldn't get 3 of the damn feckin' things top tier doing over 2,000 alpha damage, 210mm guns every time they fire a feckin' shell. It wouldn't happen. But now, Wargaming have decided, I know, why don't we give the class that sits at the back of the map and has no danger posed to them whatsoever throughout the entirety of the game, why don't we give them normal matchmaking? You know, and Light Tanks, the class that have absolutely no advantages whatsoever, who easily die, have worse guns than they equal matchmaking mediums, that have, oh wait, they do have some advantages, I'm lying. They're a tiny bit faster, an insignificant bit faster, and oh yes, they keep the same camo rating on the move. Well, that's great, Wargaming. Thanks! Let me just go ahead and use that on, let's see. 2 of the maps that actually have anything to do with Light Tanks anymore, seeing as you seem to be enacting your utter hatred for Light Tanks by removing all cover under the guise of preventing camping because TDs were constantly using the bushes. But Wargaming, I thought there was already something to prevent camping. I don't know, like Arty! You absolute morons! So yeah, as we can clearly see, Arty are perfectly in need of exactly normal matchmaking. It's not like they're ridiculously overpowered and should still have their bigger than light tank disadvantage in matchmaking. Okay, point driven home, let's move on. Okay, now this is not really a complaint of mine because it doesn't affect me and I like just completely don't care. But what the hell is with Arty being so feckin' expensive as a class? Like, what? Why? So, for those of you who aren't aware, you get a lot of XP for spotting your own targets. If you shoot a target that you don't spot, you basically only get half the XP for the damage that you do to that target, right? And Arty never spot their own targets because they're camping behind the base for the entire game and doing what the class is designed poorly to do. Then why the feck are they the most expensive class to search in the entire game, bar some TDs in some nations? Like, what? They earn the least XP for the damage that they do using their unbalanced and poorly designed game mechanics, and yet they have to spend fucking years trying to graduate to the next Arty. Like, I'm not complaining because hopefully it will put more people off Arty. Maybe that's what you're trying to do, Wargaming, in which case I fucking applaud you for that. Okay, so let's dream, shall we? Let's just cater to the whims of my fantasies here. So, the year was 2016. The month was May and the day was the 11th. And Wargaming up and decided to remove Arty from the game. Arty was gone, banished. And they decided that they were going to refund all the XP that people had squandered in these useless piece of mechanics back into their account, so everyone had 20 XP to use on whatever other tank they wanted. Now, I understand that Wargaming might be concerned that, like, oh no, we're going to lose some of our player base. No, let's deal with that. Even if you lost, let's say, worst case scenario, you lose 40% of your player base. You won't, because you'll actually gain a player base, and the people who played less will actually play more as a result. We'll cover that in a minute. But even if you lost 40% of the player base, the people that remained would be stronger. They wouldn't be the kind of players that just like to sit down and play with one hand, who are probably not buying a premium account and playing the game as you would want anyway, taking part in your organised events and making your game as good as it truly is. You get into some of those players, not that I have anything against them, they're doing nothing wrong, they're just playing the game, but I mean, from the point of view of a good player who wants to see this game become what I know it can be, it has to become a factor. The players that would be left would be more willing to support your decisions, and players in a game like this, World of Tanks has such a lore behind it, thanks to people like Quickie Baby and Jingles. You saw it when you designed the bloody butt sex bloody crew commander thing. It's the lore of World of Tanks that makes this game so powerful, can interconnect all these players. Tanks like the TOG, the AMX-40 that have such a reputation that people have come to love. The players that know these kind of things, they respond to stuff that you do for the game, and it's one of the reasons Armoured Warfare is going to be so much further along than Wargaming's World of Tanks when they reach this 5-year mark, because they're already light years ahead of where this game was when it first started. Partly because of piggybacking on World of Tanks, but who complain on World of Tanks has a good basis. It is a good game, it just has some mechanics that really need to be worked out, and Wargaming need to listen to people like me and you when we're telling them this kind of crap, so I can deal with it and make this game actually good. Now, I want to be fair, like, Wargaming have called a meeting with the community contributors, and Arty was a topic discussed. Not in the light that I would have liked to, as in, we all hate Arty, let's remove it, high fives, let's get out for pizza, yay! But it was discussed, and I've got to get credit where credit is due. They wouldn't have called that meeting if they weren't planning some changes. So that is good. That is progress, and let's give fair credit. It does look like they are looking towards doing something about Arty. So bear that in mind. I hope they're going to remove it completely, but at least maybe they'll do some of the stuff that we'll cover later. So we were talking about losing 40% of the player base. You wouldn't, and here's why. People make mistakes in gaming. You can see it everywhere. In those games where you get reset cards. You know, you level up, okay? And you get points to assign to certain skills. People make mistakes when they start the game. And they put a load of points on a completely useless stat for how they want to play the game. It's exactly the same with World of Tanks. A lot of people might not want to play Arty, and even if they do, giving them back that XP will give them a free opportunity to play any other tank that they wanted. They could go, oh, yes! What do I want to play? Okay, I've heard that this tank's good, I want to do that. It would bring so much enthusiasm into the game for like a good month. After you removed Arty, after you refunded all the XP that people had squandered, your game would become so much more popular. You would get a boom for a month after your game, and I encourage you, if you ever do remove Arty, to refund all the free XP and do some special events. Do like times 5 XP, let people buy some combat reserves, credit combat reserves, so plus 100 credits. For those without a premium account, that might be very, very useful and appreciated. It's a good idea anyway, even just apart from removing Arty. So, you wouldn't lose players, you'd actually gain them, because they'd be able to make their choice. They'd be able to go, okay, I want to play this now, and that would encourage them as players, and it would be a fantastic time to play World of Tanks the moment after Arty was removed. Now, removing Arty comes with its own problems that I'll cover later. I'm not an idiot. I know that the game would be unbalanced if we just flat out removed Arty. I'm not saying it would be perfect. I'm saying it would be better. A lot better. Okay, so, gentlemen, some of you may be of the opinion that artillery was a real thing in World of Tanks. In war. It was a real thing. Artillery was used in World War II, and World of Tanks is a World War II based game. However, for those of you who are thinking along those lines, I'd like to call your attention to a video that Wargaming EU made discussing how they made the physics for 9.14, where they stated this.
Realism is one thing, but the loss in dynamics is another.
To a greater extent, World of Tanks is not a realistic simulator, but a game with arcade elements.
Okay, so I'll just hop in here before the second clip and give you context. I don't want to be unfair to them. They're talking about introducing physics and how perfectly realistic physics wasn't good for gameplay. Okay, so they're not talking about Arty here. I am taking it out of context, but the point still stands. Here's the second clip.
Perfect realism is not what you need for action-packed tank clashes.
Wow! Wow! Yes! Yes! I'm sitting here, I'm over-feckin' I finally realised this! Yeah, you know what's also not good for action-packed tank clashes? If I'm just journeying up in my top-tier heavy tank to the top of the hill on Monologue, and because I'm a good player, I know that it is tactically the right play because we've got 3 scunches on our team. I go up to the top of the hill and I sit behind the feckin' windmill and I wait for all of the enemy heavy tanks to get shat on from the back of the map. That's just so good and fun as a heavy tank. I just love that mechanic, and I love it even more because it's the right play. Because if I attacked, I'd die instantly. Because some guy is sat at the back of the map with one hand down his pants, clasping his shriveled up, overly small, insignificant penis, and one hand on his keyboard and mouse just going, oh, is that top tier heavy tank on the other flank? Huh, 1,000 damage to that. Oh, unfortunately I missed him. 900 damage. Oh, look, something on the other flank. I know, I'll use tactics and positioning and think about where I want to go to outplay this guy. Just kidding, I'm Arty. Like, really? Like, I'm not Albert Einstein, okay? It's not hard to realise that this kind of crap is ruining World of Tanks. I love this game. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. But stuff like this just wears away at you as a World of Tanks player. And it's just, I want to attack. I want to use skill. I want to have a fight with tanks. That's why I play this game. I don't play this game to sit behind a building hiding because I know that as soon as I attack, I die. What kind of mechanic is that? That punishes people for attacking. There is literally no point, not even a minuscule amount of point in introducing a mechanic that literally undermines and impugns the efforts of those who actually put time and money and skill into this game, trying to learn about it, learning about weak spots, learning about positions, learning what to do when a particular tank is in a particular position. Oh, I'll just sit behind the house and let my Arty shout on it. Oh, I want to attack this guy. Oh, well, I'll get being murdered by Arty. It literally, it goes against the fundamental principles of gaming. You want your people, the player base, to enjoy gaming. Well, let them play what they want to do in World of Tanks, and that is attack at the very basis of this game. People want to drive a big tank with a big gun, and they want to shoot people in the face with it. And they don't want to have some guy sat at the back of the base just shouting on them whenever they do that. Literally, Arty is a mechanic that does not belong in any regard in this game. It's an insult. It actually insults and offends me that Arty is in this game. Every other class, every single class of vehicle demands skill. Admittedly, a lot of people don't use skill, but they need skill to play well. Arty is entirely based on RNG. You can fully aim a shot, it's gonna miss and do no damage. I can 360 no scope and one shot a tank that I didn't even know was there. And you can see that in my just stream highlights, shameless plug. What is the point in having 4 classes that function in one way, that are balanced brilliantly against each other, and then just having another random mechanic that people can play when they're drunk and they're wasted and they just want to play with one hand? What's the point? Go play something else. Go play Tetris, where that actually requires 2 hands. Tetris requires more fucking skill. Now, as you guys can clearly tell, I have a pretty big distaste for Arty. I am not a fan, okay, but I'm not stupid either. Artillery as a concept has its applications in a World War II based game. It's integrated incredibly poorly right now, as I'm sure we can all agree, but in organised events, stuff like Clan Wars and Strongholds, it can have its advantages and it can make useful adaptations to the gameplay. But that's in organised fights. In random battles, it's crap. Let's just get that out of the way right now. So, I'm going to move on right now to some suggestions, okay? To make Arty better. And god damn, I feel guilt and shame for putting my mind to this. Remove it. Just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to get that out there. The game would be imbalanced. Okay, if you removed Arty, tanks like the E3, would certainly be overpowered. Then nerf the fucking E3! It's not like, we've introduced an overpowered tank destroyer in a certain position. Should we nerf its cupola so that it doesn't constantly bounce E-shells? No. I know, let's buff the cupola of the E5 to 229mm of base thickness, so it's over 270 effective if you hit it flat, which no one ever does, so it still bounces everything, even premium shells. And let's leave the E3 as it is, and let's introduce Arty, this mechanic that punishes everyone because we introduced an overpowered tank or a poorly designed map. Nerf the E3! Rebalance everything! Like, even now, if you just flat out removed Arty from the game, 90% of players would enjoy it more. They would enjoy their games more. That is a fact. I enjoy games without Arty more than I enjoy games with Arty. That's simple truth. Okay, so short of removing Arty from this game, like some kind of parasite that's feasting on it, cut out the bloody RNG element. I mean, this is what pisses so many good players off, is the fact that Arty relies on no skill whatsoever. You can have a good player in an Arty sat right next to a bad player in an Arty, and the bad player is going to do 5,000 damage while the good player does 1,000, just because of the whim of feckin' RNG. It's not a skill-based element whatsoever. Unlike every other class in the game that does rely on skill, where you can use your skill at the game and your efforts to make your game good, Arty doesn't allow you to do that. And that's just fucking stupid. It pisses people off when they get missed for 900 damage. And it's like to an Arty that has 2,000 alpha damage, hello GW Tiger, at tier 8. Tier 8! It can one-shot any tier 9 heavy tank. Needs a bit of a high roll to kill with the bloody type 4 heavy, but who gives a crap? My health is valuable in my tanks. I protect it. Okay? I do everything I can to work on squandering my health when it is needed. It is an art form. It's a bloody decision. It's a mathematical analysis that I make. Do I want to lose my health to get into this engagement? And that is so much a part of my skill. And when an enemy tank misses and takes that 900, 500 health off that I need to plan the engagement ahead of me, that pisses me off, and rightly so. And also, give Arty some incentive to counter battery. Huh? Because right now, it's just, maybe there's an Arty over there. For the next minute, you're out of the game watching. No one's gonna do that. I do, because I hate Arty! But no one else does. And it's, why? Why not just give a ping? I'm not saying like Armored Warfare, but like Armored Warfare, seeing as you want to copy everything that it's doing, as you well should when it comes to Arty. But try making Arty easier to kill as well. How about Arty is the only class in the game that has minus degrees of gun damage. They literally can't point their gun down. Right? So that cuts out the whole idea of, I'm a light tank, I'm looking through the enemy team. I got one shot by the Arty while going at 60 kilometers an hour. I'm on the 400. I got missed by the Arty and died. Like, every single time, more often than not, the light tank loses to the Arty. That's not the way it should be. It's bloody ridiculous. It's like, it should be, if you manage to break through in your light tank, then unless some kind of really weird RNG happens, you kill the Arty. No question. No question. Arty need to be more helpless. Simple as. And how about this? How about this, okay? You want Arty to prevent camping. That was your statement. You know as well as anyone else that you cocked up while saying that. And the World Designers community, especially me, is never gonna let you live that down. But you want it to actually prevent camping. Here's an idea. How about, where wherever they are on the map. Apart from passive scouting light tanks, so you see what I'm doing here, I'm actually giving light tanks an actual advantage over other classes in the game, which you guys just don't do, because, I mean, light tanks are just so powerful right now, aren't they? I mean, there's so much worth in playing a T-54 lightweight over a T-54 when they get exactly the same matchup, pretty much the same view range. One gets better armor and a better gun and pretty similar mobility. I mean, really, so every single class of vehicle apart from light tanks, if they do not move significantly in 30 seconds, they get lit up for Arty. Okay? Sounds fun, sounds good, yeah, let's do that. If they don't move in a minute, 1 whole minute, just as an example here, they get lit up for everyone. They've had 30 seconds of the Arty knowing where they are. They don't move in a minute. They get lit up for everyone on the team. And give them an indication. Like say, okay, you've been stationary for 30 seconds, Arty can now see you. Camping stopped. And you know what? Why not have a no bush rule? So you get spotted in one bush after camping in it for 30 seconds. That bush now gets you spotted. That's a fucking ridiculous and stupid idea. Don't do that. Oh, what about giving Arty more diverse mechanics? Smoke rounds that bloody increase camo or decrease the view range of enemy tanks. Illumination rounds that do the opposite. They decrease foliage camo or increase view range. Just you get where I'm going with this. Just some kind of mechanic that increases the skill level of Arty. That means that Arty actually have to work and hopefully makes you use 2 feckin' hands when you play the bastard mechanic. Alright, well, gentlemen, that's, I think, my rant video over. I think I covered most things. Obviously, I'm just putting on a bit of a persona there because it's fun. Ranting is fun, monologuing is fun. I don't know. Gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Maybe you got something out of it. I do hope so. Do feel free to stick around if you're new. We do a lot of shenanigans on this channel. And I have a daily live stream on Twitch. We will have a cinematic coming with the Great and Mighty Jiggles in not so long. So that will be inordinately fun. And until then, gentlemen, I bid you all farewell. Jingle!
Sure. No. It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Can you stop camping, please, killer?